At first, I thought it was a dream. I was staring at the strange sheet, not really understanding what it was. That was all. I didn't go after it, nor did I ridicule it. The fact was that the boring view was the ceiling of my own room, but I didn't realize that for a fairly long time. Yes, I thought I'd been dreaming, but I'd actually been staring at the ceiling the whole time. Lethargy induced by the voices of cicadas. Even after I realized I was awake, I couldn't draw forth the energy to sit up. Everything I could see, everything I could hear, everything was like a television broadcast that had already ended. It was hot. So hot I could choke on the heat. My back was moist with night sweats, and it felt gross. Unable to endure it any longer, I tossed my futon, and finally, blood started coursing through my brain. I later recalled the long day I had yesterday. The reality is I lay here listening to the voices of cicadas, and yesterday is so different from it. In order to kill Satoko's uncle, I had to rehearse, formulated a plan, and dug a hole. It was very hot, and I was very tired, wasn't I? And then when the evening came, I went to school and called him out on the phone. I panicked for a moment when he asked me where the police station was, but it worked out. And then I awaited him and swooped down. I couldn't remember any more what sort of emotions I had let control my body. In any case, it didn't go smoothly, but I did it. It was very hard to dig a hole for the body. The feel rain pounding down on me, I don't think I'll ever forget it. The rain, the mud, and the sprays of blood. The sensation of floundering in a swamp. When I met Takano-san on the way home, that wasn't good, no matter how I interpreted it. It was the most misfortunate and uncalculated thing that had happened that night. Everything would have been perfect if only I hadn't encountered her. I was just riding my bike, with my shovel in one hand, through the downpour, utterly soaked. There's no way someone could surmise I was a murderer bearing a body just from that information. Now that I was thinking calmly, napping under the morning sun, that's what I thought. Still, the more I think about Takano-san's eyes, it seemed like she understood. Takano-san, she knew that I killed someone, buried them, and that I've been on my way home, exhausted. Takano-san wouldn't get anything from selling me out to the police, but that didn't mean I could feel at ease. I should have killed her. I'd crossed such a bridge to get my tranquil life back, and I finally achieved it as a result. But now, for the rest of my life, for all the tranquil days starting today, I had to live in fear of when they could suddenly end. I may have twisted my ankle, dulled from total exhaustion. The fact that I couldn't make the snap judgment I needed to, I regretted it more and more as time went on. You didn't have a choice, Keiichi Maibara. You didn't have any choice at the time. You were tired. You were a mess. Even if you made the decision, you might not have been able to kill her. She might have just beaten you instead. In that sense, parting ways uneventfully could have been a safer option. No matter how sharp Takano-san's intuition was, she had no proof. Her suspecting me didn't amount to evidence by itself. Logically, I know that. But that doesn't mean I have nothing to worry about, does it? Just worry about it when the time comes. Now isn't the time to be worrying. It's the time to be smiling, right? You accomplished so much just to get a new life starting today, didn't you? You should be happy at this new morning. If remembering the past is too hard for you, then just consider everything up to yesterday as having never happened. You said so yourself. You bear it all like it never happened. Well, your wish came true. Everything before yesterday never happened. So be happy, Keiichi Maibara. Yay. I stuck my hands up lazily. It felt a little silly for me to be the one doing it. I heave a sigh from deep in my belly. That sigh got my lungs moving. I felt like I had been breathing up until now. It wasn't enough to admonish myself over. All the dice that could have been thrown already had been. And the numbers that turned up weren't bad at all. If I lost those numbers, then I just had to give up, I guess. I grabbed the chest of my pajamas and flapped it back and forth. Cool air flowed over my sweating body. Okay. Nothing before yesterday happened. Nothing. Nothing at all. I'd forget it all. Yesterday was all a dream. What time was it? About midday? Getting myself up and going to school this late seemed kind of absurd. But I needed to go. I felt like going to school would be the first step into my peaceful new life. I didn't care how late it was. I would go. I would go to school right now and get back to the life I had retaken as soon as I could. My lazy body immediately became lighter at the thought. I rolled out of the futon, bounced onto my knees, and then leaped upright. Nice! Stuck the landing! I stuck in my chest with pride at my gymnast-like pose, then took a deep breath of fresh air. The brisk morning air had been gone for a while, replaced by the crisp air of summer. Downstairs, I got a stern talking to by my mother. Where were you last night? When did you get back? You need to tell me when you won't be home for dinner. Things like that. Considering the importance of what I accomplished yesterday, a little scolding was no problem. In fact, it even felt like the sort of thing that would happen in such a peaceful life. Being scolded by your mother. I listened with an irresponsible smile and stepped out into the sun, high overhead. I don't know what happened there, but okay. It was around the time lunch break would be ending. Everyone would probably be worrying about me. I didn't go to the festival, and now I wasn't at school. Well, maybe they weren't too worried about it. Oh, they definitely were. Since they would have gotten a small piece of news, but a happy one, from Satoko today. Yep, a small piece of news that our uncle hadn't come home last night. Satoko will probably live her days in nervous tension for a while, thinking he might still come back. Come home. Not come back. Come home. Come home it's kind of the same thing as come back. But eventually, those days would end. And finally, Satoko too would realize that her uncle was never coming back. And then, Riki-chan would quietly invite her. She would say, "You can live with me again." And everything would be back to normal. Our lives would go back to how they were before that man appeared. Satoko would start wearing that extraordinary smile, complete with those protruding canines, and fool everyone with those straps she was so proud of. I'd probably be her first target out of everyone, but I wouldn't be mad. In fact, I might actually shed tears of joy at the return of something so normal. Satoko. She would gradually go back into that meddlesome personality of hers. I mean, my lack of useful life skills was already completely exposed. I wondered if I'd ever be a match for Satoko. That would be such a pleasant thing to see, too. And with such warm, fuzzy predictions, I didn't feel bad for going to school so late. In fact, I wanted to run there right now to get there as soon as I could. Instead, I decided to savor the peacefulness of just going to school like normal, without running. The world I had obtained for myself, that gave me joy by just walking like this. Yes. The world, beginning on this very day, was something I had won. Without that monumental feat yesterday, I would have never been able to come to school so cheerfully today. The school gate came into sight. Just then, I heard the principal ringing the bell to mark the end of lunch break. It was a clear, refreshing sound. I stopped despite myself, and let myself take it in. I stopped suddenly. So, there was an extra footstep. The noise, the blessedness I was feeling throughout my body, returned to any pore it could find. As if to replace it, I felt like hundreds of hairy caterpillars were climbing up my feet. I turned back, but of course, nobody was there. A single footstep could easily have been my imagination, but the footstep felt so ominous. The extra footstep I heard after seeing Sakno sent off last night. With everything that had happened on that insane night, I didn't mind something like that happening once. It had been a hell of a night after all. In fact, having just one hallucination was pretty fortunate. But those footsteps should have ended with yesterday, so if I heard them today. There was really only one thing it could have meant. Oh, oops, sorry. Last night still wasn't over. It was still going. Still. That insane night. Forever. The step I heard, just that one extra footstep, was quietly ridiculing the nonsensical notion that the world starting today was completely different from the one that ended yesterday. My classmates playing in the schoolyard all vanished inside like the tide going out. When I approached the school, it felt that warm, fuzzy scene had ended. It didn't feel good. At the entrance, I took a quick look into everyone's shoeboxes. Satsuko Hojo, she was here. Mion was here too. And Rena, of course. Even Rika-chan was here. Well, why wouldn't they? It's school. They should go to school. Tomodaku and Okamura-kun were here. In fact, I didn't see any missing classmates. There were shoes missing. It would have to be my own. I took my shoes off and stuck them in, then took out some slippers. There wasn't a single pair left in the shoeboxes anymore. With that, they returned to the rightful state. But as I stepped onto the wooden floor, I noticed there was just one pair of slippers left. Whose? Satoshi Hojo. Satoshi, who had never been to school since disappearing last year. Until now, we had committed the exact same act of violence, but I guess in the very end, it went differently. You couldn't make it to school, but here I am. I didn't repeat the same mistake you made. I wasn't about to let myself feel superior about that. In fact, I felt an odd sense of familiarity with him. A misfortunate bond with someone I never met, due to following the same fate. I'd headed down the hallway towards the usual classroom. It felt like it's been a whole year since coming here. Hey, did you forget Keiichi Mabara? Satoshi Hojo didn't really disappear on the night with Tanagashi, did he? Satoshi Hojo disappeared a few days later, on Satsuko's birthday, if I was right. I didn't know what day it was, but I couldn't say for sure I avoided Satoshi's failure, unless I remained here past that day. I was still living in that night of insanity. The teacher still hadn't come to the classroom. The other door clattered open, the one the teacher wouldn't use, so everyone turned at once to see who had arrived. Everyone looked pretty vacant. Suppose I'll greet them. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I do thank you all for coming all the way out here today. Silence. When I started to think I'd fallen flat, someone finally started laughing for me. Good morning, Kei-chan. You're pretty energetic today. Yeah, energetic. Maybe you haven't gotten out of the festive mood yet. How? Hearing Mion and Rena's cheerful voices made me realize how dumb those dark feelings I've been having at the entrance really were. Hey now, festive mood? I wasn't at the festival at all, remember? Before I could say that, Rika-chan smiled at me. Keiichi, did you make sure to watch my dance? Yep, he saw it just fine. Didn't you see how big of an applause he gave you? And he ignored it when he blocked... What? And he ignored it when that blockhead Shion came and made a pass at him. Ah ha 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 ha! Take that, Shion! Wow, that felt good. Mion starts laughing at the memory as she slaps me a few times on the back. So, how did that target practice contest turn out in the end? Tomodaku was facing me and talking. There was nobody behind me. That meant he was talking to me? Tomotage turned up dead last. Tomotage! Everyone had a good time with this punishment game. supposed to be the one in last place, Rika-chan? It was such a turnaround when you pulled off getting that chewing gum. I should have expected that from a member of my club. It was fantastic! Crying at a time like that is feat only the fruit ape would be allowed to do. Said oh, that was Okamura-kun, not Rika. Said Okamura-kun, breathing heavily from his nose. In my direction. Everyone laughed. If anyone but Rika-chan had done it, it would have been against the rules. Rika-chan gave one of her Nipa smiles if she would listen to it. In my direction. Rena too turned to me. No, turned towards me. Oh, this is really unsettling. For some reason, this is just an unsettling scene to me. And then, with a somewhat embarrassed smile, she whispered to me so I could only hear. Oh, really? Thanks, Keiichi-kun. For what? That giant stuffed animal. I was really happy. It's nice and safe right at my bedside. And I made sure to give it a good night's kiss before bed too. Oh! Start. The class laughed at that, cheering and jeering. This whole time, the conversation had been a little bit off. I wasn't quite getting it. What's this about a stuffed animal? What's this? Come on! We all worked really hard at the festival yesterday to get it down, remember? That gigantic stuffed animal. The gigantic stuffed animal? Rita seemed taken aback, but when she answered, she did it with a smile. We were having a hard time knocking it over, so we tried aiming at the forehead, and rapid-fire shooting and stuff. And then Keiichi-kun had a whole bunch of guns ready beforehand and shot them all. It was so cool! How? Wait. Who was this? All the people in the neighborhood association, including the chairman, were praising you so much at the party afterwards. One of them said he'd fallen in love with the way with your way of words. Tokozo Kimiyoshi, the chairman of the children's committee, I think. He said he wanted to entrust you with a few of the stalls at the next year's festival. Tokuzo is the chair of the refreshment booth. He's on the festival executive committee. My bar said is great at making things sound good, isn't he? Yep, whenever he talks about something, it seems a lot better than it actually is. Ah, you can't say that. Ah, Keiichi-kun, you'd be a great salesman. If you did a bargain sale of bananas or something, I bet it'd be so great. What have you been talking about? I mean, I didn't go to the festival in the first place. I swallowed those words. I didn't know exactly why, but Himizawa, this is what had happened. Yesterday, during the Tatarigoroshi festival, Keiichi Maibara had appeared, and he romped with about all the usual members of the club. He made a big scene at a few of the stalls, and snatched a few sticks of takoyaki and okonomiyaki in his glee, rating each of them as delicious or terrible to get everyone excited. And they seen a gigantic stuffed animal at the target practice game, and everyone went after it. And then when I got a whole bunch of cork guns, firing them in rapid succession, throwing each one away after using it, and immediately, I shot down the biggest stuffed animal there. And then I gave the stuffed animal, to prove my victory, to Rena as a gift. Then our fun came to a close as we had to go see Rika-chan's offertory dance. There was a ton of people squeezed in there, and we all got separated, but we managed to get into good positions to hear Rika-chan on from. Then in the middle, when Shion came out and asked me to go hang out with her instead of watching the dedication dance, I refused, and stayed put, watching the dance until the very end. But who? Who was that? Well, everyone's been saying it, haven't they? Keiichi Maibara. I had an urge to yell in anger at my classmates for having so much fun about the festival yesterday with Keiichi Maibara. What the hell are you guys even talking about? far stronger than that feeling, though, was the sheer uncanny nature of this reality I couldn't understand. A Keiichi Maibara who wasn't me was in Himizara yesterday. As I threw away my humanity, turned into a demon, and was busy beating Satoru's uncle to death. I was having a great time at the festival last night? What the hell? I had to suffer through so much, desperately holding back tears, getting so worn out in that downpour, digging holes, chasing, beating, killing, dragging and burying. Who was this Keiichi Maibara who ignored me and spent so much fun, carefree at the festival, damn it? Who the hell stood in for me as I put my life on the line, working so hard to achieve this treasure, like everyday life? If there was another Keiichi Maibara besides me, then what was I? On the night with Tatarigoroshi, where one died and one disappeared, and the coordinates was Oishiro-san was cursed, there was only a demon who killed someone. Dumbfounded, as I succumbed to a horrifying possibility, I looked around at my classmates to make sure there was nobody extra I didn't recognize among them. To make sure I wasn't amongst them. It was a horrifying thought that the real Keiichi Maibara hadn't overslept and had come to school on time. And that I, who was no longer Keiichi Maibara, just waltzed in here. No matter how much I checked, the only people here were the ones I knew. The man I met every time I looked in the bathroom mirror was not here. Because he is you. Okay, everyone. Time to start afternoon classes. Please take your seats. President, please lead the class. The teacher entered and everyone hurried back to their seats. Upon finding me, who was so stupidly late, she gave me a stern talking to, but I wasn't listening to it. Wasn't our old lives supposed to start today? Something wasn't right. It was just strange. I was supposed to go back to my old, fun life after yesterday. I had set foot into an incomparably mysterious world that was completely different from both my old life and my recent one. Yes, this was, without a doubt, a different world than one I've been living in until now. There's no way such a absurd thing could be possible. But, unless it was true, I couldn't explain everything that just happened. In this classroom, I was surrounded by so many faces I knew, and yet I felt so isolated. The cicadas sounded no different than they had before. They seemed somehow false. The air was harsh and dry too, making me think, was the air in Himizawa always this uncomfortable? Hey Rena. What is it? We're in class. About the festival yesterday. About when do you say I got there? Huh? To be honest, I was pretty excited afterwards, as I gobbled down on some cans of beer. I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't quite remember some things. For random babbling, it wasn't a bad excuse. Keiichi-kun, you said you couldn't come at first, didn't you? You called Michan's house about it, right? I matched. I called Mion and told her to take Satoko in my place, since I wouldn't be able to meet up with them due to the things I had to do. We all decided that while we were setting up for the festival, that we invite Satoko-chan. We wanted to bring her out someplace where she couldn't see her uncle for a little while. That was the same too. Mion said that when I called her, that everyone had already decided to invite her. And when we all went, me, Mi-chan, and Rika-chan went to Satoko-chan's house and brought her out. Satoko-chan's uncle seems like a really mean person. That part didn't matter. What I was trying to ask was, well, when did I meet up with you? How could you forget that? Keiichi-kun, I think you should be drinking until you're an adult. Whatever. When did I meet up with you? Huh? Well... At my sudden turning the banana, Rena was at a loss for words. Oops, I shouldn't have rushed that. I told her I was sorry. It was at the shrine grounds. It was unexpected. You were talking to Rika-chan, weren't you? Yep. You were having a fun talk with Rika-chan in her shrine maiden outfit. And then Rina came up and said, "Ow, I'm taking you home." I was talking to Rika-chan. And I asked, "Kei-chan, did you have something to do yet today? Did you pounded your chest and said it yourself? That letting loose at a festival was more important than some silly errand." I didn't say that. I never said anything like that. I never even went to the shrine grounds yesterday to begin with. I never had the time to stop at a place like that. I was digging a hole as soon as I woke up. I had a pretty hard time doing it. After that, I snuck into the school and made a call. I called them out and lay in wait. And then it started raining really hard. That kind of downpour, the festival should have come to a halt. In other words, it ended then. From the time the festival started to when it ended, it would have been impossible for me to swung by the shrine grounds. I was already there when Mion and others had dressed like a brought her to the shrine, and I was talking to Rika-chan. Then, where would Rika-chan say we met? The teacher went out to wash her hands, so I ran over to Rika-chan's desk and asked her directly. "With you?" "Yeah. We were talking to each other before Mion and the others got there, right?" "When did we see each other? When and where?" "I don't know what you're trying to ask. I drank so much beer that I lost some of my memory. I don't remember a thing." It looked like Rika-chan brought it to my babbling. "We saw each other when the mayor and the others came out of the assembly hall. You were in front of the ritual implement storehouse." "Huh? What? The ritual implement storehouse? I never heard of a building that's called that before. Maybe I have. At the very least, I wouldn't know where on the shrine grounds it was. The mayor got real angry at you, since you shouldn't go near holy places without authority, remember? Keiichi, did you forget that too?" I was too scared to ask anymore. The more I asked, the more it became clear without a doubt that Keiichi Maibara was present at the Furude Shrine Grounds during the Tatarigoroshi festival. The clearer that became, the more doubts, no, fears I had. What on earth was I yesterday? Whoever that was, he had a good time at my place, and he managed to go the entire day without letting them notice I wasn't there. Right. When did that person leave everyone? This morning, my mother got mad at me for having to stay out so late last night. Which meant, at the very least, that Keiichi Maibara hadn't come home while my mother was still awake. The festival would have been closed because of the downpour. If I recall right, when I went back to the house's storage room to get another shovel, I think the clock said 7. Since it was already raining hard by then, the festival would have had to close down before 7. If I had returned that early, I would have definitely run into my parents. Or, at the very least, they wouldn't have asked me when I got back last night. So the Keiichi Maibara from yesterday, that meant he never went home. That meant the downpour happened, the festival was broken up, and everyone left. But he didn't go back to the house. That means... When I arrived at the natural conclusion, a wicked chill suddenly froze my spine and climbed up to my brain. That meant Keiichi Maibara was the same as Satoshi. One day, he never went home. On the night of Tatarigoroshi, he never went home. The downpour interrupted the festival, and on the way home, he suddenly disappeared. And I, who was dealing with the corpse, went home without a problem. I was so tired, I wasn't even hungry. So, I went up to my room without a sound and crawled into my futon. Who was I? That much was obvious. Keiichi Maibara. Keiichi Maibara was me. There might have been another one, but that doesn't negate the fact that I was Keiichi Maibara. Then, that other Keiichi Maibara was that. The voice of the cicada steadily filling the classroom, beginning to bother me. Suddenly, I laid eyes on Satoko. Satoko's expression was as dark as always. She seemed completely exhausted, at a life of agony she couldn't imagine an ending to. What had last night been like for Satoko? Did she had fun with everyone and feel a little happier even for a moment? And when she went home, the end of her dream, she'd probably gone to sleep afraid of when her uncle would return. And then, this morning, her uncle had to come home. And then she went to school. Right now, she must have been so trapped by the wrong idea from which she couldn't be saved, that her uncle would need her when she got back. But you can rest easy, Satoko. Your uncle won't ever be coming back. I couldn't tell her that it was because I killed him. Would Satoko realize on her own that her uncle would never return, then that would be truly the end of the long, insane night. That's right. I didn't do anything wrong. I did the best possible thing I could out of Satoko's Nini. Not an atom of my body regretted it. And look, calm down and think, Keiichi Maibara. From a certain point of view, isn't that convenient that there was another Keiichi Maibara? I buried the corpse perfectly. A beginning wouldn't happen. But worse came to worse, and it got out, and then the investigation got to me. I now had a strong alibi, able to profess the fact that I've been at the Tatarigoroshi festival. But accepting something so creepy and using it as an alibi. Still, if I prove I hadn't gone to the festival yesterday, it would do no good and a whole lot of harm. That was what left a really, actually bad aftertaste. You forget about it, Keiichi Maibara. Everything that had happened before yesterday. So just forget about the Keiichi Maibara who was there yesterday too. Instead, let's watch gently over Satoko for the day her smile returns. And the day that will mark the end of that insane, all too long night. That's all for today, class. Please go straight back to your homes, everyone. President, if you would. Everybody stand up, at attention, bow. Goodbye! I thought about many things, and some of my thoughts dispersed by many other things. I didn't know whether or not that time had been spent worrying or daydreaming, but either way, it came to an end along with the class. Cheerfully, our classmates got their things and ran for the hallway. Mion, Rena, and Rika-chan were packing up as well. What about Satoko? This whole day, she seemed deflated. Well, her uncle may not return last night, but she would have known he'd never return. How much I wanted to express the fact to her. Satoko packed up her pencil box and Mac workbook messily, and after a dark glance at the clock, heaved a sigh. They went to leave the classroom. Then suddenly, somebody placed a hand on her shoulder and stopped her. What is it? I wired the plans like I was supposed to. Got all the printouts done. Her words, possessed by a persecution complex, hurt. Persecution complex. I spoke loudly so everyone could hear. Hey everyone! Why don't we have a club today? It's been a while. Satoko had always had to attend to her uncle, so the club has been on a hiatus. In our minds, our club was proof of a calm, peaceful life. By enjoying being together, I wanted to make Satoko realize her days of darkness were over. I'm okay. I'll do it. Meep. Well, I mean, I don't mind. It was okay with Satoko. Under a condition. That was important. With everything up to her, Satoko gave a worried look. Come on, Satoko. It's been a long time. Let's go crazy. Well, I'm happy you feel that way, but my uncle might already be home. Thus spoke her darkened eyes, her mouth unmoving. You've been choking on life every day for a while. You must be about to suffocate. It's not good for your mind or body. Once in a while, you gotta have some fun. Please, leave it alone. It's not like I don't want to do club again. With one word. But. She looked down. Satoko, you know as well as everyone it's more fun being with everyone, right? We're friends. That means we can spend time with each other. I mean, you had a great time at the festival day with everyone, didn't you? Oh, Rena nearly said something, but it was already too late. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, fuck. Keiichi-san, what are you saying? My arm on her shoulder seemed to weigh her down, and she threw it off. When exactly? Was I playing having fun at the festival? The only one having fun. was you, Keiichi-san. Huh? I look over to Mion for help, but now everyone was looking down. My instincts told me that Satoko hadn't gone to the festival. Arena said herself that she went with Mion to Satoko's house to invite her. Satoko-chan left on the way there. She didn't go to the shrine. Why? I realized the absurdity of what I just said with Satoko in front of me. She said her uncle was waiting at home, and she couldn't have fun by herself. When we were in front of the shrine, we tried to stop her too. We told her her uncle said it was okay and that he wouldn't get mad if she had a good time. At some point, tears had begun welling up in Satoko's eyes. Satoko was so afraid of her uncle that she couldn't even allow herself to be with her friends and went home. No, she was even afraid of letting herself have a good time with her friends. Keiichi-san, you must have it nice. Having a blast at the festival all night. They told me you went all out, didn't you? I'm very envious. Smiling to herself, her tears began to fall. I must provide for my uncle. It's completely different from you. I thought you let your parents do everything. Satoko. I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself at the festival. I'm so glad you had enough fun for me too. I mean, I want to participate in the club too. Making such a racket with everyone is so much fun. But right now, I can't. Unable to withstand such a violent emotion, a few teardrops slid down her cheeks. But even though she was having such a terrible time, not once did she ever say it was hard for her. It was sad, obstinate bravery. But days when Satoko had to feel like that were over. Satoko didn't need to endure it, to bear it anymore. She could forget all about it now and smile. I was so frustrated not being able to tell her that directly. Instead, I said something that I'm not sure I should have said before I thought twice about it. He didn't come home, did he? Oh, fuck it! God, Keiichi! The words were deeply meaningful to me, but I didn't know Satoko understood them. Didn't come home? Who? Keiichi! Damn it all! Oh my god! That's the worst thing you can say! Oh my god! Oh my god! Your uncle. What are you talking about, Keiichi-san? Satoko shouted with all her might. When has he not been there? When? Calm down. I mean, he didn't come home yesterday, did he? I don't understand. What are you trying to say, Keiichi-san? Satoko, what are you talking about? I mean, that man, oh, fuck! I killed him. Killed him yesterday. Killed him for sure. And I buried him. Buried him whole. He could never return to his house. Even yesterday, he was torturing me so much. He yelled at me. He shouted at me. He found fault with everything I did. He threw the dinner I made him on the floor. He dumped his bowl of miso soup on me too. It was hot. It was messy. And I cleaned all of it up. I cleaned. All of it. What? Our stories weren't matching up. Night? And this morning, when he woke up to make him breakfast, he got so mad at me. When he woke me up to make breakfast, he would have gotten mad at me whether I got up or not. Satoko. Rika-chan went over to Satoko and said a few words of consolation. Satoko angrily refused those words and thrust Rika-chan away. Needy! Come back! Crying, Satoko slowly walked out into the hallway. After a moment, Rika-chan went after her. I couldn't stop thinking about the words Satoko had spoken while crying. I buried her uncle last night, but she said, this morning, that was impossible. I buried him last night, so She could have seen her uncle this morning. What was Satoko? At that point, I heard Mion's cold voice. Hey, Kei-chan. What did you mean about Satoko's uncle? I said too much. I let my emotions get the better of me. Rina heard it too. You said Satoko-chan's uncle didn't come home. Why? Why didn't he come home? That's strange. Satoko-chan's uncle was right there this morning, wasn't he? So why would you say he didn't come back? Come back? Kei-chan, you've been saying weird things for a while. Suddenly, Mia and Rina started speaking strange and creepy voices. What were they doing? What were they saying? Kei-chan, is this so inconvenient for Satoko's uncle to be around? No, what are you talking about? Of course it would be better if Satoko's uncle wasn't here. Yep, that's true, of course. If only he weren't here, right? Ha 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 ha! Something wasn't right. The next thing I knew, Mion and Rina were smiling thinly, and their eyes were dark and muddy in a way I'd never seen before. And our eyes met. As our eyes met, that mud seemed to fill the air. Satoko's uncle's off in person, with no doubt. I think we'd all be better with him just gone as much as you do. But he's here. There's nothing we can do, right? Nothing we can do? Something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong here. What the hell was happening? For a moment, a chilly, liquid-like feeling, as though my blood had been mixed with a sherbet, crawled up my spine. No choice. I mean, of course there isn't, but... Oh, fuck. But, then Satoko will never... If there's no choice, what would you do? Rina was trying to prompt me to say more. There really was no choice, so I killed him. I killed him to protect Satoko. That's... Leave him alone. I think things will resolve themselves soon enough. Satoko-chan said her uncle was here, so he's here. He was here yesterday, and he's here today. He said so it's fine, right? Right? Mion and Rina were speaking unbelievably dismissively. How could they be talking like that? Mion and Rina, they were my friends, and were seriously worried about Satoko's abuse, weren't they? They would never learn out something like this. And I definitely killed Satoko's uncle. No matter what Satoko or anyone else says, I would acknowledge it, because him being alive was impossible. There's no way he was alive. It was impossible. And yet, since Satoko herself said he was here, then he was still alive. I didn't know why or how, but suddenly, Mion ran around my side, standing there silently. Let's go home, Kei-chan. After we leave, Rina wants to go treasure hunting for the first time in a while. Mi-chan is coming too. Kei-chan, you should come along. Of course. You're not allowed to refuse. If words could freeze blood, then there was no doubt they would have frozen me solid. I could hear it, all earth and ice, the sounds of all my muscles tensing. And with them closely at my sides, we left the school, as if there were police officers taking me away. They talked about silly things the entire way home, like they always did. But they always stood at my sides, as if to prevent me from escaping. This was strange. Everything about this day was strange. Actually, it had been strange ever since the previous night. Yes, thinking back, it had been strange ever since killing Satoko's uncle. That creepy meeting with Takuro-san was only the beginning. That insane night was still continuing. Yes, it still hadn't ended. What? What's wrong, Kei-chan? Why did he suddenly stop? Sorry, it's nothing. When I stopped, it was a distant, but I definitely heard them. An extra set of footsteps. That was proof. Proof that the insane night hadn't ended. Mion left where she usually did, and finally, we came to my house. Okay, Keiichi-kun. Wait here for me. Rina will come pick you up soon. What was it? She invited me on one of her oversized garbage treasure hunts at the dam site, right? But why now? Neon coming along was strange too. Neon may have accepted Rena's little hobby, but she hated fishing through garbage, so she's never come with her before. And the location specifically being the dam site was a little creepy. The dam construction site was completely outside the flow of everyday life, so it was so remote that no one ever went there unless they were brought to it in particular. They thought to in particular. Nobody lived there. There were no lights, so at night it got dark really quickly. I was being forcibly invited there. There was no reason I had to fear Rena or beyond. Rena and beyond. Besides, wouldn't the trouble I make by refusing them be a pain to deal with? In that way, it didn't seem like going treasure hunting with them was such a bad idea. But the insane night was continuing. Hadn't the science instinct been wailing in my mind for a while now? Warning me that Rena and Mion were strange? That I needed to be cautious? The warning sirens were so freaking loud it felt like my head was split in two. Rena, I actually have something to do. Something to do? Like what? Like what? It's just I had something to do, okay? If you had something to do, why didn't you say it while Michan was here? I'd already told him to meet us at the dam site before we split up. Rena was smiling, but her words made her discomfort clear. Sorry. I just kind of missed the opportunity to say so. Really? You're lying, aren't you? You just made that up now, you liar. That's what Rena's eyes said to me. My head hurts. I might have a cold. So I wanted to get it checked out and get some medicine. Really? It wasn't really a lie. My head did hurt a little bit, so I wasn't lying. Rena, she couldn't figure out if my head hurt or not, just by looking at it. Then, I guess that's that. After staring me in the eyes for a few moments, she fired a snap, needle-like stare at me. The tension in my body loosened, and I felt like my knees might buckle. If you're going to the clinic, then you should go soon. Sometimes they close early. Thanks. I'll do that. Make sure you go, okay? To the hospital. I will. Go for real. I will. It seemed like Rena realized that I was going to refuse her invitation for a while now. With how serious she looks, Joey actually called the clinic later to make sure I wouldn't. I couldn't say anything careless. Lying about being checked was just an excuse to decline a request in the first place. It didn't matter whether I actually would. Yeah, I'll go. If you want, I can bring you the bill tomorrow. Oh, that would be good. Be sure to bring it, okay? But I will look at it then. Another tinkle started crawling up my back. There was no ignoring it. Rena and Mion must be monitoring my movements. That wasn't normal. Far from it. All of it was insane. I did what I did because I wanted my peaceful life back. But what? What on earth was all this? It was far from peaceful. Something had gone mad, leaving the world out of order. Well, with other Keiichi Maibara, with those creepy footsteps I've been hearing, with Rena and me acting so curious, and above all, with him being alive. Where was I? Himizawa Village, Shishiban. I knew that much. Was this really the Himizawa I knew? Hey, Keiichi Maibara, where is this? I asked, moving around before the front door to face the one who had been following in my wake all day. Nobody would have been there, of course. Keiichi Maibara, huh? That's what I just called him. Called the one who had been trailing behind me this whole time. That shadowy presence, always clinging to me, like I was constantly watching for the opportunity to change places. Footsteps always following me was another impossibility. It could have been a ghost, so it was just impossible. So the strangest that must have been my ears, my head, or Himizawa. Everything I see was the same exact Himizawa I knew so well, and that gave me the creeps. Eventually, I decided to actually go to the clinic. I really didn't want to go outside, but a stronger feeling than a desire was the fear Ren might actually be keeping an eye on me to see if I went to the hospital. But before I went to the clinic, there was something I wanted to make sure of. It was at school. I pretended I'd forgotten something, and was going back to the classroom to pick it up. As soon as the thought crossed my mind, I was overwhelmed by paranoia. I was just going to the classroom. I hated it so much, having to be so careful to fake it. After carefully verifying where nobody was watching, I went over to the locker. Yes, Satoshi's locker. I committed the crime with the bat I found in this locker, Satoshi's bat. And then I had thrown the bat into the swamp, which meant the bat shouldn't have been inside. But, what if the bat was still in here? It was a very dreadful, incomprehensible idea, but it was true. That it would explain a lot. But the bat was in here. Yesterday's events would have all been a delusion. No, an illusion. I hadn't killed anyone, and I had gone to the festival. I had a great time rampaging about with everyone. You know, proof that Keiichi was really me. Proof that I was only under some strange assumption that I killed Satoko's uncle. Proof that it all been a wild fantasy. That would explain everything. Nothing happened yesterday. I had just gone mad, unable to separate my shocking uncle-killing dream from reality. That would explain everything. If the bat was here, would I be able to accept that reality? If it was here, nothing would have changed. If it was here, it would just mean I gone crazy. Preparing myself for the worst, I opened the locker door. I was actually scared of opening it so slowly, so I threw it open with a bang. And just like the first time, the choking scent of smell and sweat, like a stale towel, came flowing out. It was a baseball uniform. And some miscellaneous other things, like notebooks. There was also a shoe pouch. And for the bat, it wasn't there. It was how I left it when I took the bat out. There was no doubt. Yesterday really happened. Now that I knew it wasn't a lunatic, I felt relieved. But at the same time, if I wasn't the crazy one, then Himizawa was. And that was evidence of a reality I just found it's difficult to accept. There was a noise, somehow, creeping into everything I saw, and the world was losing a tiny bit of color. So what did I know about last night now? Now that I made sure the bat wasn't there, I didn't need to be here anymore. Shall I go? For real? To the hospital? It was my first time going to the hospital, but from what I heard, it wasn't far from school. And I'm gonna go to the hospital next time. Oh, that sounds so weird to say. But I'm ending the video right here, right now. So if you like this video, leave a like, leave a comment, and we'll be going to the hospital next time. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and we'll be going to the hospital next time. Okay. That was such a weird ending.